So I have a question for you about synchronicity. At some point in the recent past, I noticed that the amount of synchronicity in my life has increased dramatically. Now I'm trying to kind of understand exactly how synchronicity works as far as the LCS goes. For example, let's say I'm having a problem with my car, only to discover that it was really lucky that I found the problem when I did, and coincidentally I ordered some plastic thing a couple weeks earlier that works perfectly for my present situation. Now, when I try to wrap my mind around that, if I think about it as I had an intent for a best possible scenario, that was not that I did not have that intent when I ordered that plastic gizmo that happened to show up at my door just at the right time so that I could use it in this particular situation. So I'm trying to understand how exactly that might work. Do you think you can kind of clarify or send a couple of tidbits my way?
Sure. Well, there's a couple of things at play, Will, and it could be more or less of any of them. But one, you're probably more aware of things like that happening than you were before. So you are more likely to notice it and spot it than earlier. So that's probably 10% of it or 20% of it. Not a big part, but you are more open to the existence of synchronicity. Therefore, when you see it, you notice it as opposed to you just let it slide on by. What synchronicity is the larger consciousness system helping you succeed and helping you also have firsthand experience in the fact that synchronicities exist. In other words, that's part of your growing. You see these synchronicities and you know, well, that's really odd that this could have happened. And if it happened once, you wouldn't pay any attention to it. But when it happens again and again and again, and the probability that all those things would have just come together on their own by accident, well, okay, a few of them maybe, but 3 or 4 a day, or 3 or 4 a week, constantly, then you begin to see, no, there's something else going on here. It's not just randomness happening. There's some motion going on. Well, the system can do that just to give you that experience, that firsthand experience that there is something more to this reality than just the material reality. That there are forces, there are things happening that are at a deeper, more significant level than just the physical stuff. So that's one reason why you might get it. The way the system does that is within the things that happen and the things that you think and do, there are spaces for either nudging you to do something, like go ahead and order that plastic part, because the system can look at the future probability and see the probability that you're going to use that. Also, when the system is making a measurement, when you require something of the system, often there are multiple possibilities, multiple things that could happen, and various probabilities that they might happen. Typically, that's a random draw. But if the system is particularly interested in helping you grow up, instead of a random draw, it might just pick one of those possibilities that interacts with you in a positive way, so it helps you see that bigger picture. So the system can set you up to succeed in both of those ways, by nudging you and by modifying your reality within the uncertainty of that reality. See, the fact that you have multiple possibilities in any measurements you make, anything that you do, there's multiple possibilities, then it can kind of manage that random draw from that probability distribution to come out the way it would like to. So the message is the system is working with you. All right, you're working with the system, Will. You are trying to grow up. You're trying to learn. You're trying to find firsthand information for verification. You're working on it. And anybody that is working with the system will work with you. So that's why you're seeing a lot more of them now than you did, say, 5 years ago. Not just that you're paying attention more now, but it's really happening a lot more now because you're working with the system now and you weren't 5 years ago. So that's the big difference. You work with it, it works with you. The system wants everybody to grow up to the maximum extent possible. And by possible, I mean that they have the free will and the wherewithal to reach on their own. You have to do it. The system can't do it for you, but it can help you. It can make it easier. It can give you some experience. So that's, I think, why you have them. That's how they work. And it's probably just going to be a part of your life now because you have made your growth a part of your life now, and the synchronicity is going to just work like that. You'll find eventually that almost everything you really need or want, like that plastic part, just kind of falls at your feet just in time for you to, to put it into place. Things happen just right, just to make things work out well for you. And that's the idea of giving up trying to control things. You realize that life actually is optimal without your control. If you just be and grow and have a positive intent, things will just happen to work out. Like I say, you get just what you need just as you need it. And that becomes almost a way of life. And it has not just to do with car parts, but it has to do with everything in your life. You just meet the people you need. You just find the book that you need. You just run into, the person that you need to talk to, even though you didn't know you needed to talk to them, just at the time you need it. So then you realize, you look back at that and you say, if I could control things, if I could control what happened in my life, I wouldn't be able to do it nearly as well as just letting it happen, you see? And that gives you this sense of letting go of control, because it will happen in your life much, much better than you could if you were able to control it. So it's one of those neat lessons you get to just let go, deal with what happens. And if you're growing up, if you're really on that path and not just acting, but you really are on that path, then what you find out is what happens is that life gets easier. Things happen. Things fall into place for you. So
Okay,
it's just the way reality works.
I just have one quick question with that. So, if assuming that, of course, assuming that that is true, then the question is, and I don't know if you have an answer to this one, but why? Why would the system care if my car part shows up in time and I don't have to wait an extra week, or I spend an extra $150 at this sketchy mechanic over here versus the mechanic that I would take it to otherwise? Like, why would that be in the system's best interest that I am optimized in those manners? Okay,
well, that's correct. It's not interested in saving you money or making your car work better or that sort of thing. It's interested in helping you grow up. And one of the things that it can do to help you grow up is show you this multidimensional reality that you're in, to demonstrate to you that it's real, that reality isn't just a physical place. And by doing the synchronicity sorts of things is a way of letting you know by firsthand experience that this is a bigger, more complicated reality than just physical, and also letting you know that the system is working with you, that your efforts to grow up have been recognized, and that the system sees that they are genuine, and you're not just acting, you're really trying to change at the being level. You've evidently had some success, and the system is there to work with you. So that's pretty neat. That's a very good thing. So that's what it's trying to demonstrate. It's not trying to save you money in car parts or make sure that you're not late for an appointment. It really doesn't care so much about that. but it is letting you know that it's got your back in a sense, that it's working with you. And like I say, your life is likely to show a lot more of that. So it's, at least mine does. My life is a constant stream of those sorts of things, where things just happen, and then you look back at them and you realize that it would be very odd that all these things would just happen by accident. You know they're happening for a reason, and the reason is that the system's working with you.
Okay. So it would be something like the system is working with you because that's how the system works. That's what we are originally, and that's the final destination, maybe,
Yeah.
or
Well,
just
yes. Well, no, the system's working with you, because if you succeed, it succeeds. If
okay.
you lower your entropy by a bit, its entropy is lowered by that bit, because you are a part of the system. So
Okay.
the whole reason this virtual reality is here is for you to succeed here, to grow up here, and you're doing it. So you get support of the system. People who are not doing it, who are not making any progress, who don't really care, they don't get that much effort put into their growth, because they'll just push it aside. It won't mean anything to them. They won't appreciate it.
All right. That's. I think you answered my question. Thank you.
You're welcome.